Cueca here. Long time no see. It is currently December 16th, 12:41 p.m. and I'm drinking un cafecito con leche because we're gonna be talking about her. About café con leche. Since I think my last update in terms of vlog footage is like July. The background has changed a bit. There's a lot of stuff on my wall. Maybe I'll do like a little tour of my room before I move out. Anyway, hi. I'm a bit out of practice, as you know. I have been vlogging, but I don't have time to edit vlogs. Additionally, I've been vlogging less and less as the semester has gone on because it's gotten more intense. But in general, I have really missed doing these update videos, and particularly for Café con Leche because I actually watch these back. It's really important to my process. There's ideas that I'm working on Café con Leche now that I talked about in this vlog 2 years ago that are just now coming into fruition, or that I'm just finding the way to like put them into a scene. Now, I know what you guys are all actually here for, so I will briefly talk about NYU at the top because this is a video about Café con Leche, and as I said, I will not be talking about NYU at length at all. But I have gotten a lot of comments of people asking me how I like it so far, and I have to say, I really, really love it. I have loved being part of Cycle 34. Every single one of my classmates is incredibly talented, and I'm so thankful to like have them as my collaborators and as my friends. I have met so many wonderful people in this program. I mean, all of them are wonderful. I think that's the thing that you don't really expect will happen. I really came to New York and particularly to NYU to find community, and I found it. And if I talk about it too much, I will cry. And I've cried a lot this semester. I've laughed a lot this semester. I've seen so much musical theater being done by my peers that gives me hope for the medium, for what it can do, the power that it can convey, and it makes me want to write and be a better writer. And this is the first real place that I can say that I've ever really felt like an artist, treated like one, supported like one. And obviously I know NYU is only a 2-year program and this won't last forever. I will have to go back into the real world as I did before, but it's so good to know that a place like this does exist and that I get to be a part of it. So for those of you asking me if you should apply, absolutely do it. Absolutely do it. But don't get discouraged if you don't get in, and don't get discouraged if this is not something that you can afford. You can always do musical theater on your own and write musicals on your own. And if you're looking for any sort of training and stuff, musical theater guy, highly recommend him. I've learned a lot from watching his YouTube videos. And of course, my friend Joanna Burns, who talks about like recording, demoing, writing musical theater. So I highly recommend you check them out if you're interested in doing musical theater, but maybe you're too young to apply to grad school, like you don't even have your undergrad degree, or you're not in a position to do that. These two people, I really learned a lot from them. They don't know that I'm doing this, but I figure I might as well start with that. All right. You know, usually you should put the thing that people actually came here to watch at the end so you can like have higher retention, but I'm not really, that's not why I do this. Let's leave the NYU section and let's talk about CCL. Café con Leche, or what I've been calling it recently, which is just Café. I don't know why. I've been working with other collaborators. We're working with other collaborators. Y'all. If you've been here since like August of 2020, no, May of 2021, when I literally got the idea to do this show, I would always be like, I'm so alone. I don't, I write by myself, and that's why I streamed all the time. It was such a lonely thing. I have people who work with me on the show now. I don't think past me could imagine the people I know now, which is just, New York living up to the hype. Now I have a long list of dates. Part of me wants to like shout everyone out by name, which is why I listed all the important dates for my personal use into my journal. I've kept this journal since I bought it the 31st of July. This is the longest I've been using like a functioning way to keep all my stuff organized, and it has worked for me. I think it's because it's like literally just a composition notebook and it's not pretty, and I feel like I can just like fuck it up, and honestly, slay. I will try and keep these dates relevant to Café con Leche and sort of the progress that has been happening in the last 5 months. It's been a really strenuous process of doing like one of the hardest grad schools ever. At the same time, I'm also simultaneously working on Café con Leche, writing, editing, writing new songs. We have new songs for the show. All that to say, I'm gonna jump into the dates. This summer was a very hectic writing summer, but you know, the person who really held me down, and I've talked about this in the vlogs, is my friend Nesa. I ended up doing the Summer Sabor fundraiser for the Latine lab on the 5th of August. I was like one of the featured performers, and I was like, oh, what song should we perform? I know I talked about this in the vlog. I think the vlog that you saw was when I was asked to do it. Well, we ended up doing it. We did Alejandra. A video of that performance exists. It's not good. It was my first time singing live in a long time, but it was just one of those things where I was just really happy to be asked. And there were so many wonderful composers, writers, and playwrights, and just wonderful people that I've gone to like talk more with since then. And that honestly put like this like a fire under my ass to like finish CCL. And so on the 13th of August, I finished the summer draft. It is currently 1:58 a.m. Some people have braved it through the whole thing, but we are now at end of play. Draft 2 of Café con Leche is now done. It's done. It's over. If you've seen the vlogs, you know that I spent a lot of time after the first act just outlining and trying to read through all the balls that were in the air so that I would settle them in Act 2. Made me realize that a lot of the given circumstances, look at me, theater lingo, weren't functioning, so I changed them into something else for the second act. So the second act is actually based off a different Act 1. TLDR, there is a summer draft of this show, which I am currently revising, and I'm hoping to have like a spring 2024 draft, which will be performed in March. Spoiler. I was talking with one of my professors and I asked her like, how many drafts did you go through to get to this play? Which she wrote, and it's just like beautiful. And she was like, oh, you know, like 25 drafts, but I did just stop counting after a while. And that was honestly what I needed to hear. I didn't know that it took so many drafts to have something that good. I just assumed, and it's dumb, obviously. This is why I'm most like Deku. It's like, oh, I can kick instead of punch. Like, that's sometimes the epiphanies that I'm having. For me, it was like, oh, it takes more than one draft to do that. That's crazy. And so now I'm like allowing myself to have more than one draft without feeling like it has to be perfection. And allowing myself, I'm sorry, my lips are so chapped, it's winter in New York. And so now I'm allowing myself to write the drafts that I need to write to get it where I need to go and perform things as they are. That just allows me to get feedback. Then on the 14th, I submitted for the Julia de Burgos cohort. It's submission hour. Oh, submission hour. Woo! It's done! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Julia de Burgos cohort call for submissions 2023. Your response has been recorded. Yeah, baby. Which has been the best decision I've ever made in my entire career thus far. I will talk about it more in a separate video. Because of this cohort, I have been able to do so many things that I thought were literally impossible. But I was not going to apply to this because I felt like my version of CCL was just not ready. And this is shout out to my bestie, Daniel, who was just like, do it anyway. And I did, and I ended up getting it. I was on my way to the Lincoln Center to meet with John actually, and I found out like on the subway. And it's one of those like things where it hits you that you're in New York on the subway getting a really important email like they do in the movies, and it's just like, whoa. Yeah, then on the 15th, I met John in the flesh for the first time. John has been one of my longest long distance relationships. Just what an incredible mentor of a man. And we met for the first time. His luggage got lost. We went shopping for clothes because he just didn't have any. And it's just one of those things that's so funny. His musical was being done here, having a workshop. So we met while he was here for the workshop time. And it's just like, shout out to Wise Ant. Just randomly pairing us together. During BMI, he's like, if you get it, I'll get you a winter coat. And then now we just went to the pub. You know, it felt like a full circle moment for me. It felt like I had really arrived. And then on the 22nd, I got my NYU ID. And then I also had like my first meeting with my classmates at Washington Square Park. It's so cool to like look back at that now and be like, I know these people now. And back then they were just like strangers who I knew that, you know, we would be spending a semester together, which is just crazy. Then on the 30th of August, I started orientation at NYU, and my whole life went like this. Like my summer was literally, I would wake up, go to the library, write 6 to 8 hours a day, go to sleep, wake up, rinse and repeat. Like I would write at the library, I would write here, I would write at the drama book. I was writing every day. And so in grad school, it's not that I'm not writing every day, but I'm writing every day for school stuff. And so trying to get stuff done for Café con Leche became more and more difficult as the semester went on. And this is the moment where I went like this. This is why I was so adamant to finish the summer 2023 draft of Café. And honestly, the reason why I'm so thankful I pushed myself to do that. 5 months out, gotta give myself props for that, because this semester was really about like revising and writing new song material. And if I hadn't made that draft, that would have been impossible to do. And I think I would have been set back. That's Miss Marin. It's a Miss Marin break. Hi, everyone. I don't know if you remember Miss Marin. She's really the third roommate. She's just as opinionated as me and Rochelle, my roommate. But yeah, we've become really close, obviously. Yeah. All right, bye, Miss Marin. Then on the 1st of September, I met Felipe. Felipe is a composer in the program. He's also from Chile. He's like the guy who I was like, I'm gonna be your friend because you're the only Chilean I know from Chile that isn't like my family who's related to me. We wrote our first song together on the 2nd, and we've been friends ever since. Felipe is now working with me as my arranger for Café con Leche. The trajectory of Café con Leche would be completely different if I hadn't met this person at this program. But like literally to have it be like day 1 of orientation, who knew? An important step for Café con Leche, which I want to mention, which is almost kind of funny, is on the 12th of September, I watched Roman Holiday for the first time. Roman Holiday is the movie starring Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck, which I had never seen before. As you guys know, this summer I really struggled with deciding what kind of coffee shop Café con Leche was going to be, which you guys will never guess because I actually changed that this semester. But I was still thinking that it would be the Italian coffee shop that I've been talking about. And so I was like literally Googling like, what are movies or shows that deal with coffee shops in Italy? And it gave me Roman Holiday. And so I checked out the script from NYU. And then I also, watched the film at NYU. And after doing all that research, it hit me, oh, this is the wrong direction. Like I wrote a song for Rosa about like this particular perspective. Since April of this year, I have been going up the wrong tree. And then all of a sudden I pivoted and boom, it's like I cracked Act 1 open all of a sudden in a way that which just hadn't happened before. It was like magic. You never know what's going to trip you, and that's why I wanted to bring this particular date up, because you just never know what's going to be the catalyst to change the entire course of your show. And that's the day that the Italian Café con Leche died, and we went to a Donut Coffee, which is like a very common coffee shop in LA. And for a long time, I was like, oh, this is the obvious choice, and so I didn't choose it. Looking back, this semester has been a lot about learning like the obvious choice. I think sometimes I just make things harder on myself because I think that I should be choosing the more difficult option. And sometimes just the simple is the best. And simple is a positive, not a negative. And I think that those are things that I'm learning. And this was one of those moments where it clicked for me. Then on the 13th of September, I got to shadow John at his rehearsal. It was such an eye-opening experience and something I'm really thankful to have had, knowing what's coming up. Working with a music director, being able to answer questions about my own score, making decisions in time, talking with the director, talking with actors, giving notes, not giving notes, knowing when and where. This was all stuff I observed in the moment. It's one of those things where I'm just crazy thankful for John. He did not have to do that. He really did fight to get me in there, and they allowed me to go in there because I was an NYU student. Oh, she's studying in the graduate musical theater writing program, and all of a sudden, oh, she's studying in the graduate musical theater writing program. So I was able to get in to observe this rehearsal. So I think that so many doors have been open for me, doors that I didn't even know were possible because of this moment. On the 18th of September, we had the Julia de Burgos first meeting with Jacinta, Storm, and 5 other teams of women and non-binary Latine composers. What a crazy fucking stacked group. Those 5 teams were incredible. Truly amazing. I cannot stress how amazing and wonderful, and it has been such a joy to share the space with them. I learned so much, and you can go to the Latine Lab website to see who was in the cohort. I'm inspired by them and I want to be them when I grow up. To me, I felt like the baby in that group in terms of like skill, ability, experience, and they treated me like an equal. And when I'm in California, I'm hoping to see if I can meet with a couple of them, because what was cool about this cohort is that it was virtual, so we had like writing teams from all over the country. On the 23rd of September, I met with Amanda and Theater on the Verge about the New Musicals Festival of 2024. That's how far back we were planning this. Business Business. Floppy hair. Business, floppy hair. Don't reveal my calendar to the internet. Amanda is a fucking beast. They are literally putting Unwound together, and they were like, let me also create a festival and allow other composers and teams to self-produce. And that's how I was involved in this and how I was able to get in this. Amanda has always been such a huge champion of my work. They wrote me my letter of rec for NYU, and I just miss them a lot because, like, boy, grad school has kept me from like every single one of my relationships. Tu papá y yo, when we got, when we got, when we got to this valley. On the 26th, I submitted for the. Okay, 3, 2, 1, submit. Application submitted. As a grad student, I'm fucking broke, and it would be nice to win it. It's really hard to win this award when you're an artist, but I figured I would do my best. I might actually bleep that. It's because it's just not public information yet, but I submitted to that. On the 3rd of November, I met with producer Ryan. Anyway, we had a meeting about CCL because I'm applying to some grants, and so if I apply to grant money, I want Ryan to manage the money. And then I submitted to the. Hi vlog, it is currently 1:30 in the morning on the 14th. My ass should be sleeping. I have class. All right, submit. I hit the submit on the 1. Oh my God, it went through, thank God. Also bleeping that probably, but I know what it is, and that's what Ryan and I were talking about. On the 15th, I would say the 15th has been the most important date of my career this semester thus far, the 15th of November. I literally met with my NYU advisor and John on the same day because I needed to figure out how I was going to be able to talk about what my goals are as a writer, all that. This was my first time ever doing it, and it has opened doors for me that I had no idea, and I wouldn't have gotten this opportunity if I hadn't applied to the Julia de Burgos cohort in summer when I was writing the show. Like, that's how long theater takes. I applied in August for something that I didn't know I was getting until late August, and this opportunity came in November, almost 3 months after I applied. So I think that that's the thing about theater, is that it moves really, really slow. And so you're planning so much of your life so far ahead in a way that, you know, I'm not really used to planning all that much. You know, I'm pretty flexible with like my writing goals and what I'm doing in terms of like this YouTube series or the way I'm approaching Café con Leche. But I think that now people are learning about my show and like me as a writer, as a composer, things are changing and I need to be more strict. On the 20th of November, 5 days after that meeting, I got the offer. Hi gang, it is currently, I'm in the practice room right now because I have homework to do, but it is currently 4:34 p.m. and Café con Leche won. Now I know why I've suffered through 4 years of accounting, even though I've hated math since the 2nd grade. Okay, so yeah, I gotta start that on the C. Now I know why I suffered through 4 years of accounting, even though I've hated math since the 2nd grade. On the 25th of November, I met Brandon, aka Shakes Primo, aka Bestie Nation, like my little brother, for the first time in the flesh. Like, we've been DMing and talking on Twitter for a while, but this was like the first time we met, and we've been exchanging emails for months, reading each other's work, reading each other's plays, trying to write stuff together, and we clicked. And so I was like, you want to direct Café con Leche for me? And he's like, this is Brandon. Welcome to the vlog.
Oh my, the vlog.
On the 26th of November, the Theater on the Verge New Musicals Festival announcement went live, so it's official. I will be doing Café con Leche March 23rd at the Abington Performance Center in Pennsylvania. I will be posting more about it as it gets closer to that date and as we do rehearsals and stuff, but I have to finish writing a cohesive Act 1 by March 1st. So, like, that's the thing about these videos that I think people are disarmed by. It's like, the transparency of it. I'm gonna be upfront. I'm not really happy with Act 1. And if I were forced to present Act 1 right now, I would be very unhappy. But also, like, I know that there's a limit to how much I can do and how much stuff I can get done. And so I've been doing a lot of writing this fall where I've just been focusing on writing songs. And now I have to put all these songs together and I have to finish them and I have to do stuff like that. I need that time crunch and I need the deadlines to get stuff done. I've just come to learn that about myself. And so, yeah, here I'm being candid. The show isn't done yet. Musicals are a living, breathing organism for a long time. You have to make the decision to step back.
Okay, this is the a cappella demo of The Last Time, which is a cueca. I'm singing both of them, but Joaquin is down the octave. Cosita, mi amor de amores, tell me, when was the last time we made a trip to go back home down to Santiago? Que cuando fue la última vez que fuimos a Santiago?
Okay, so that's the end of the timeline. It was long. The light has officially caught up to me. So let's talk about sort of the future of this channel and what I'm expecting. I literally can't be making one video every 6 months. I mean, I can, but to me, it's like the thing that I'm gonna want to know in the future is that it took me 20 pages to write My Turn, and less about all the important dates, because I think dates are important in retrospect when they stay in your mind. But like the Roman holiday date was, to me, more important than a lot of other dates that I included on this list because it was so imperative to the process of writing Café con Leche. It literally shifted the way I thought about the show. Those are the things that I want to remember. I don't really care about the important dates. Yes, obviously I do, and important things happen, but those are gonna happen no matter what. To me, it's like, this is a process vlog. I want to share with you and me in the future what I was thinking about and how I got to the idea that I got, because I might need to actually remember that. With that in mind, I have decided that my goal for the new year is to check in with you every 2 weeks. I've been so busy with work and school, because I still have work, like I still have my job, but this has been, it feels like I'm writing with half myself. Like I've said, this semester, you know, I got in as a lyricist and book writer at NYU as a words person, so I haven't been writing as much music as I normally would, which is why I think I've been writing a lot for Café, because it allows me to write music. That's how I feel about this too, where I'm working on Café con Leche, but I'm not vlogging the process, or I am vlogging the process, but I can't actually watch those videos back because I'm not gonna watch like a 5-minute video on my phone. I wanna watch it in the context of the week that I'm writing, or you know, and so I need to come up with a solution. With all that to say, happy holidays. I hope you have just a lovely 2024. Thank you if you stayed. Thank you if you've watched. I know I've live streamed a lot in the couple of months that I've been gone. If you've come to any of those, thank you. And I will see you hopefully in 2 weeks. I don't know how long it'll take me to edit this because this is a fucking mammoth. And I will see you next time with a new sit down vlog. Ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao.